Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. Could we be seeing this match in the very, very near future? We're gonna give you the breakdowns and some of the news that we have today regarding this potential blockbuster matchup. Let's go. So Roman Reigns was recently on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast discussing a lot of different things, a lot of different topics, including The Rock. There was a little bit of a tease when it comes to Logan Paul possibly taking on Roman Reigns in the future. So first of all, before we get into some of the follow-up news and some of the posts that came out of this, what do you think? Because I think that this type of match, this could be huge. Yes, Logan Paul has only had a couple of matches in WWE, but I got to admit, I think that his performances overall have been pretty strong. When he took on The Miz at SummerSlam, that was a really solid match. It's very planned out and methodical, but frankly, I think that a match between Roman and Logan Paul, it's gonna draw eyeballs, and that is a money marquee blockbuster match that you wanna be able to have if you're WWE. You have Logan Paul signed for multiple matches over the course of the next several years. Logan Paul has talked about how he's really loving being a WWE superstar, wants to pursue this even further. You gotta figure this match is gonna happen at some point. The question is when. Logan Paul even kind of challenged Roman Reigns after the podcast, and Roman Reigns replied to this, as did Paul Heyman. Logan Paul tweeted out that new Impulsive podcast, Roman Reigns embarrasses Logan Paul, reveals John Cena beef, and fighting The Rock. Watch or get body slammed. Roman Reigns replied to this saying, I bless the world and bring island of relevancy to your show. You and your boys acknowledge me, and as soon as I'm gone, you run your mouth? Wise man, handle him. Paul Heyman then follows up by saying, I am in receipt of your command, and I shall indeed bestow upon at Logan Paul the wisdom he so desperately lacks. My tribal chief, please consider this handle. So I love the fact that they are playing into this, and I really do believe that this would be an incredible match between these two. The question is also when. When could this match potentially take place? Because it seems like we could be seeing this get kind of teased and brought up sooner than we think. Logan Paul is scheduled to show up on this Friday night SmackDown. As I'm airing this, SmackDown is just about to happen. This is coming off the heels of the podcast between the two, where Logan Paul called him out. And the cool thing is that Triple H stepped in and he invited Logan Paul to SmackDown. Triple H said the following on Twitter, quote, just so happens I have a globally televised platform to allow superstars to handle their issues with one another. Consider this an invite for SmackDown tomorrow night. Logan Paul replies by saying, exactly how do you plan on handling me? This will draw huge ratings in my opinion. SmackDown and Raw have been getting into like the 2 million mark in terms of fans and their ratings on a weekly basis. Raw the other week had a little bit of a dip, but there's a ton of stuff going on against it, like Monday Night Football. But ratings continue to increase. This is a big standoff that you want to have. You also don't have Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules. He's not televised. He's not scheduled for anything. Having him and Logan Paul tease up against one another is going to be a really cool moment. And I do wonder, when could they do this? Do they want to do it at Survivor Series coming up? I feel like that's too soon. And frankly, I think that there's a lot more storytelling you're going to have with the Bloodline than everybody else that the Bloodline is feuding with. So I don't think you want to have it that soon. Would you do this at the Royal Rumble? Because we got to remember that Roman Reigns is only scheduled for giant premium live events. He's only doing the big matches from now until the end of time. Do you potentially have it where it's rumored in Saudi Arabia and you have it as a Saudi Arabia match? To me, that would fit. Now that is coming up soon. Frankly, I don't really want them to do this match so quickly. I'd much rather have them return to, for example, they could do Braun versus Roman in Saudi Arabia. You could do a rematch with Drew. You could have the Bloodline. You could have a 6-man tag or something. But that is a big money match in Saudi Arabia with a lot of money going on in the background. Otherwise, I think this is actually a match that you could build to for next year, because I don't want Roman Reigns to have the titles involved. And that's where I'm coming from. I don't want the titles in this feud at all, even if this is just going to run for 1 month of a build. If they plant the seeds now, and I have more faith in Triple H that he wouldn't just want to hotshot this. You want to be able to layer this and have this going on for several months. They could be talking trash online. You could really build this thing out. But if you have the titles involved, then it automatically feels like, well, Logan Paul has no shot. So what's the point? You want to make it believable that Logan Paul has a shot against Roman Reigns. To do that, in my opinion, I think you need to wait and push this thing out to next year after WrestleMania. If Roman Reigns is going to go up against The Rock, for example, at Mania, that's the match. That's what you want to really start teasing, pretty soon, like getting up into after Survivor Series Royal Rumble, the main event needs to start taking shape. Or it's going to be against the Royal Rumble winner, which could be Cody Rhodes, who knows? But either way, you've had 2 years with Roman Reigns with the titles, and if he does drop the titles at WrestleMania, after that, I think is when you want to introduce Logan Paul and have the two of them go at it. That's where I'm sitting here thinking they're either going to rush this thing and hotshot it at Saudi Arabia this year, or you wait until the titles are off of Roman and you have this giant marquee match at SummerSlam for next year. And I mentioned The Rock and Roman Reigns going at WrestleMania. Click this video right here because we're talking more about the potential WrestleMania main event. I'll see you over there. Bye.